Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the return of the National Basketball Association for the 2023-24 season? And with its return, the return of Torsar. That's right, hello YouTube, I'm back to talk about another NBA season. It's been a little while, and just to let you know, I plan on sticking around this time. Now, I'm not trying to look too far ahead, because that's what got me in trouble the last time. I started wondering about, the NBA season's about to end. The NFL's already over. What am I going to talk about all summer? I'm not going to worry about that right now. Also, not going to worry about any sort of the goals I was trying to achieve before. I think back now and I'm like, I wanted to get to 1,000 subscribers, but I'm not even at 100 yet. Do you go for a 10-mile run and worry about how you're going to do in the 9th to 10th mile when you haven't even run a mile yet? No, you don't do that. Well, maybe you do, but I'm just trying to make a silly analogy. Either way, let's set a new smaller goal. 100 subs. How about that? So if you've liked the content, all the people, I can't believe how nice people have been. You think you're going to put stuff out there on the internet and people are just going to be mean and savage. That's not how it's been. And I'm sure eventually there will be, a percentage of people. It's just bound to happen no matter who you are, no matter how nice you are. You're going to have detractors. You're going to have people talking crap. I'm ready for it. That's fine. But it's just been so nice and refreshing how good some of you have been to me. Thank you so much. All the people who subbed in the past, who watched the videos, gave me a like, commented. I appreciate it all. And, if I have earned your sub, cool. If not, stick around. Hopefully on one of these videos I will. So, that being said, let's get into it. My top 10 storylines of the upcoming NBA season. So, I got them here, just on my notepad. By the way, I'd just like to say, I already shot this video, and I didn't realize my microphone wasn't plugged in like a dum-dum, so it picked up on my webcam microphone, and that sounded horrible. So now I have to do it all over again. Hey, that's what happens when you're rusty. That's what happens when you take a break. That's what happens when you don't stay consistent. Something I gotta work on. But let's go. Now, these aren't really in any particular order. People aren't even going to have the same top 10 storylines. Like, I don't have Victor Wembanyama, how good he's going to be in here. I don't think many rookies are ever worthy of being a top 10 storyline going into the season. LeBron James is about it. Besides that, like I said, they're not in any particular order. Some are going to be more interesting to people, and others are just going to be like, I don't care because I'm not a fan of the team. Or, let's just start with this one. AD and LeBron, can they stay healthy this year? Some people are just going to be tired of that subject. I understand. We've been going through this for years now. But I think it is a top storyline going into this year because of what they achieved at the end of the last year. Now, I know they got swept by the Nuggets, but a lot of people will point out all 4 of those games were really close. Or at least the Lakers were, competitive in them. And, LeBron, let's face it, he ran out of gas after that push for the scoring title. I equalize it to, a couple years ago, Aaron Judge when he was chasing the AL home run record. It's just got to be really taxing to getting asked about it every day. Every day you're focused on it. And LeBron, he did so well last year. He got the scoring title, and you could tell he probably pushed it too far, especially that injury he had, whatever was wrong with his foot. Then he didn't have enough time to get healthy before he came back, at least, near to 100% or as much as you can get at that age. And, he ran out of gas. That's been a continuing theme. So, can AD stay healthy enough to pick up the slack so that LeBron doesn't have to do so much so that he doesn't run out of gas? That's the real question. It's not just one, because they need them both to stay healthy. At his age now, LeBron needs AD to stay healthy. All right, now let's go to the other team that I think is going to have the most focus on their injury history, because they have all three of their superstar players, or if you want to call it, Bradley Beal, just a star, whatever. But can Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and KD stay healthy? Because all of them have extensive injury histories. Obviously, KD being the eldest and having the Achilles injury. Devin Booker has had hamstring problems his whole career. It's unfortunate because you never know when stuff like that's going to pop up. Kind of like CP3 has had issues with that. And Bradley Beal, he's had an injury history. If all three of those guys can stay healthy, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. It could be crazy how the Denver Nuggets are so good, but they might be left out of the Western Conference Finals. I'll get to that in a little bit. So those two teams definitely are going to be very dependent on, all teams, they need their superstars to stay healthy. But like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Do you really have many concerns about them being injured? No, you don't. So you can go to a lot of teams. Giannis last year being injured was kind of an outlier, things like that. So those are the two teams that really have that concern, in my opinion. Along that light, let's ask, is the Warriors championship window over? Staying in the West. Many people doubted them a couple years ago, and they proved everyone wrong. Now, me personally, I think that was a little bit of a down year in the NBA. I think in most NBA seasons, neither of those finals teams, neither the Warriors or the Celtics, make the finals. My cat jiggering away. Quiet, Junebug. She just wants some attention, which I'll gladly give it to her after the video. But anyway, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, so the Warriors. Now, last year, you kind of knew right from the beginning that just killed their team chemistry. As soon as I saw Draymond hit Jordan Poole, I was like, they're not, you can't do that. They're not going anywhere this year. That's going to linger over the team all year. So I would probably side towards their window is over. But honestly, if they rebounded and had good team chemistry again this year and pushed, at least to get into the Western Conference Finals, I would not be surprised. And that's saying something, considering the West is both conferences are probably pretty top heavy now. But it's nice because it's not just like one or two teams where it traditionally was in the past. So it's another question going into this year, because guess what? If the Warriors championship window isn't over, like Steph Curry, especially for people like me who are like, no, he's not a top 10 player. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to start rethinking that. Okay? Especially if he gets another finals MVP. Then it's like, ooh, you can't keep him out of that club. All right. So let's get to the couple troublemakers. The story that no one really wants to hear about because we're all sick of hearing about him, James Harden. Where will he go? How long is it going to take? Is he going to ruin the Sixers before he gets out of there? Is he going to go to the Clippers? And how is that going to work out with Westbrook being there? Is Westbrook going to be fine with going to the bench for James Harden? And if he doesn't go to the Clippers, who else is going to want him? I'm of the mindset that the guy really, he does not do good with other star to superstar players. He probably needs to be on his own team with just a supporting cast around him. But you know what? That time for James Harden has come and gone. I doubt Houston's going to take him back. Today on Undisputed, Paul Pierce called him a franchise wrecker. I don't know about that. I think he wrecked Brooklyn, but that was their own fault. They should have never traded for him. The 76ers, I mean, they traded their problem for Brooklyn's problem, so I don't really think they gave up too much. And I'm going to bleed this into another top storyline for the year, and that's if the 76ers don't do good this year, is Joel Embiid out of there? I don't think the James Harden thing affects it too much. That's why I have them kind of as separate storylines, even though they're attached together a little bit. But I think the 76ers can get back maybe a good rotational player and then maybe like a decent like bench guy, not like a star or anything, get back just a couple decent pieces and some picks and be fine. You play Maxey more. Cut it out. Of course she does that. She didn't do it the first time when I was, shooting the other video, but now she's going to do that. It's all right. She's a good cat. Just very noisy when she wants attention. But anyway, I think they can be fine, just play Maxey more. It's I don't think it's going to affect Embiid as much as people think it will if like Harden kind of doesn't play for a half a season, or they have to wait till the trade deadline to get rid of him, or he's kind of just like floating around, not really. I don't know. That's a crazy situation. You got to feel bad for Joel Embiid, but if them, there's a difference between staying competitive and getting to the Eastern Conference Finals or even the finals. If that's what Joel Embiid needs, I think he's just going to have to get out of Philadelphia to begin with, because I don't see him making it this year, and I don't see him making it next year. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. In that sense, I say that because now how much better are the Celtics and Bucks going to be? I think those are two more top 10 storylines. Is Milwaukee even any better getting rid of Drew Holiday to bring in Dame Lillard? I mean, last year, Drew Holiday wasn't the reason they failed. Giannis got injured. That's it, just plain and simple. And that, another one I'm going to bring up is Miami. They're just a bad matchup for them and the Celtics. They play those two teams really tough. Because the Celtics weren't injured, what was wrong with them? And Miami still got past them. So I really don't think they're that much better with Damian Lillard, if any better at all. I think Drew Holiday is an extremely underrated player in the NBA. I think he does make the Celtics that much better, even over, he's an upgrade over Marcus Smart. They're the same type of player, just Drew Holiday is just that much better. I don't think there's going to be a leadership vacuum with Marcus Smart leaving. If there is, what does that say about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? I really think this is going to be the year. If I had to make a pick, by the way, I don't really like the whole predictions thing because everyone does it. No one really pays attention to the end of the year. No one's held accountable. The only time you ever hear from someone is if they got it right and they're like, oh, I was the one who said it. And it's like, it's all... You're just picking between a couple different top teams, like 6 or 7 top teams, 3 or 4 in each conference. That's all you're doing. But if I had to pick anything, I would probably put my money on AD and LeBron staying healthy, getting through, getting to the finals, and then the Celtics finally breaking through. It took a while for a lot of NBA stars to break through and finally win their first championship. Not many people do it in their first few years, like a Tim Duncan. And I really admire what the Celtics strategy is, and that's not to break it up, not to keep trying to change things up, trying to keep the same core team. I admire the consistency. It's something I have to work at myself in my personal life. So that's something I can really look at them and admire them for. I think a lot of times in today's sports, teams are broken up way too early. They change things over way too fast, especially in the NFL. It's usually more coach based, and you see that in the NBA a lot now. They're more willing to change the coach than they are to get rid of the superstars because they're so much harder to find. The Celtics changing coaches was a different story, but I really think this is their time. Vegas still has the Bucks ahead of them, but only one spot as the favorites. And to segue into that, why are the Nuggets, and if are they even being overlooked? Do you think they're being overlooked? And if so, why? Because the only ones I can see picking the Nuggets to repeat their success is actually Vegas. They are the number one favorites right now to win the NBA championship, which is, I guess, saying something because the Bucks and the Celtics both seemingly improved, at least on paper. And the Celtics, for a while, I'm pretty sure they were the odds-on favorite to win the NBA title after the in June when the championship ended. Right away, they come out with the odds, and it's like the Celtics. And the Celtics, I think, before the beginning of last year, they're the favorites. So Vegas isn't overlooking them. And I see a lot of people. I haven't heard really anyone picking the Nuggets. So we'll see how that goes. And lastly, I'd like to say, is Miami still a threat to the top teams in the East? If they had just made it in the bubble, and by the way, that bubble championship, I think Miami is making it look better and better every year. I think people kind of like, oh, they got to play Miami. They're only the 5th seed. Yeah, well, then they went back and did it again last year. And you could say, like I said earlier, Giannis was hurt, but then they still that wasn't in the Eastern Conference Finals. They still had to get by the Celtics, too. So I don't look at them as much as a fluke as I think some people do. Obviously, I think they were also the number one seed in the East one year in between there. So Miami's a good team. Can they still be a threat? Considering they thought they were going to get Dame, then he ends up in Milwaukee, then, they might have to play them. They might have to get through the Celtics again. I'm not going to count them out. I still think they're a threat. I'm not going to pick them to win the NBA championship or anything. And like I already said, I like the old nostalgic Lakers versus Celtics matchup, but we'll see. Honorable mention, of course, the Victor Wembanyama thing. And then, the last one. How could I forget my boy, Ja Morant? Has Ja Morant learned his lesson? I knew I forgot one. So, we're going to have to wait 25 games to even see. I mean, obviously, he could act up and do stuff when he's not playing in the NBA. All the stuff that's happened to him has all been off the court stuff, which is so disappointing because we've seen from guys like Draymond Green, you could do a lot of stuff on the court and still be a well-respected NBA player. You can get away with a lot of stuff if you go about it the right way. You can't get away with the stuff he's doing off the court. As harmless as it's been so far, it's just such a bad look for the NBA for the things he's doing. All right? So, I know he reacted to that Coach Prime tweet where he said, right message just on time or whatever he was. But you know what? I'm not going to believe it till I see it. And after I've seen it over the course, I don't even know if he can even get through the rest of the NBA season, incident free, and for me to still believe it. I might have to go partway into next year or even all the way through next year and to go like, all right, he's got 2 years of just good, non-incident basketball under his belt. All right, the guy's finally learned his lesson. Whatever lesson he needs to learn, he finally, how people say, oh, he just doesn't get it. All right, he finally gets it. And I hope he does, because I felt, like I was picking on him a little bit too much last year, making the videos. They get a lot of views, but, man, I don't like to talk. I'd rather talk someone up than talk about, the corny stuff they're doing. But, hey, if he keeps on doing it, that's just a free, easy video for me to make. And, again, like I said, there's some honorable mentions. Maybe I should have thrown Wembanyama in there, but we'll see. He'll prove me right or wrong very quickly. If there's any I left out, anything you guys think are top storylines, let me know. If you've got this far, thank you so much. I will be making NFL videos as well, here and there. So hopefully it's a good year. Hopefully everyone stays healthy, nothing crazy happens. Hopefully everyone keeps their head on their shoulders as far as social media and everything off the court. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. It starts tonight. 2 games, 2 good Western Conference matchups, repeat of the Western Conference Finals. I think it's like the CP3 old team and CP3 new team. So we'll see how those go. Full slate on Wednesday. I'm getting right into it. So let's go. NBA's here. Hope you're all excited. Until the next one, stay healthy. Peace.